What's up, ladies and gentlemen? How are you today? I hope you are all having the day you deserve to have. We will get started in about 8 minutes or so. This is the first day of the 10-day awareness rally of pop-up live streams I'm going to be doing. Each day will cover a different topic, all leading to one grand finale. As usual, please hit the like, leave a comment, and share. Most importantly, share. Share for awareness reasons. Share with your loved ones. Share with people you don't know. Just share the stream out. Share this information. What's up, ATS? What's up, my friend? How are you today? I hope you be doing good. Well, I appreciate you being here, ATS. We'll get started in about 6 minutes. Hey, Mom. So good to see you. What's up, Ty Spork? So good to see both of you guys here. All three of you here. It's great. I'll repeat myself. This is the first day of a 10-day miniseries that I'm going to be doing. They're all going to be pop-ups at random times each day for the next 10 days. They're all going to be about what the topic usually is over here. Different categories, so you have an idea of what we'll be doing over the next 10 days. Day one today, we will be talking about why are we more offended by language than by child abuse? Great question. Day two, the real reason people don't want to talk about child abuse. Day three will be the comfort of ignorance. Day four, abuse doesn't end at 18. Day five, if silence had a body count. Day six will be stop calling survivors strong. What? And day 10, you don't get to be neutral. And get to know stop memberships. Thank you very much, my friend. I hope they get out to all awesome and amazing people. I really do. Oh, 10 people got memberships. Let's go check and see who that was real quick. Let's go see who that was. Thank you very much, Eddie. I appreciate that, man. No, I don't. Oh, let's see here. Sweet and Sleuthy, Lucy, Jank, Ian, Multilak and Hussein, Simple 122, Kitty XOXO, D Froggy's got a membership, Rob Random got a membership. Mary Jane Doe got a membership. And Shooting Star MS 39208 got a membership. Thank you very much for that, Eddie. Really do appreciate it, bro. Got about another 3 minutes here. We shall get started. Yeah, thank you very much for that. Hopefully some of those that got that membership will see and head on over and start coming over and participating in what we're doing over here. That would be cool. There's a couple of them on there I'd really love to see over here, like D Froggies. It would be one. Yeah. Congratulations to all the new Get to memberships from Well, the Thing Is. Exactly. That was very awesome of him to do that. He didn't have to, but he did it anyway. And I appreciate that from the bottom of my heart. I really do. I really do. All those kind of donations are very, very much appreciated. Never expected, but always appreciated. Very much so. We're going to put this guy back on the screen here. We'll put that one back up there. Let me get my chart, my info pulled up here, and we will get started in 1.5 minutes, ladies and gentlemen. I want everybody to know that this is not about comfort. This is not about your feelings. This is not an easy subject, but it is very much important. Very much so. I appreciate ATS. What's up, Vic? Ferrari? Good day from sunny California. What's up, Vic? How you been, bro? Good to see you over here. I don't think I've actually ever seen you over here, but I appreciate it. Looks like you're a member of this channel. I appreciate that very much so. Very much so. 99 cents a month, ladies and gentlemen. Can't beat that damn deal. Right on. Thank you for bringing your friends over here, ATS. I appreciate it. I really do, man. Well, if you've pretty much left YouTube and you only support a couple of channels and I'm one of those channels, I really do appreciate that. From the bottom of me heart, man. From the bottom of my heart, I appreciate that, my friend. I really do. Any friend of Eddie's is a friend of mine. What's up, CFM's queen? How are you today, sweetheart? Sugar Glider is at a doctor's appointment right now, but I'm sure she's doing good. How are you doing this most beautiful day and yourself there, Miss Beautiful CFM's queen? How are you doing today? Oh, okay. Okay. I think I remember. I think I remember. I've been on panels with so many people, it's hard to remember everybody, you know? No offense, none of that stuff. And we are at the 10-minute mark, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get rolling on this. Day one, pop up day one right here, ladies and gentlemen. This is Get to Know Stop, where we are over here. We are standing tough on pedophilia because that is what we must do, or it is going to be horribly rancid on the effects of what happens. So, with that being said, I will probably try to pay a little bit of attention to chat, not to sound rude. but I want to get through this. These kind of streams are not always easy for me to do, but they are extremely important. Um, uh, yeah. So without any further ado here, ladies and gentlemen. Well, I appreciate that, Vic. I really do, man. It's comments like that that help keep me going and doing this every time I do one of these. So I'm gonna put this back up on the screen here. I'm gonna put this back up on the screen here. Where's it at? Right, here we go. 10 gifted memberships coming in from ATS. Or, well, the thing is, I appreciate that all so much. All right. Welcome to Pop-Up Awareness Rally Week, or 10-day streak here. Ladies and gentlemen, this is subject line number 1. This is, why are we more offended by language than by child abuse? Let me drop this one more time. As always, this is an open panel. Mostly because I hate being up here by myself. I really do. I really, really do. So there is a link. Feel free to tickle that link button. Come on in and come on up and join me. That's for sure. All right. Buckle up. No warm-up lap. No intro music. No countdown. We're already moving. Let me ask you something, and don't dodge it. Why are we more offended by language than by child abuse? Ask yourself that question. And if you got an answer, feel free to share it in the chat. I'll give it about a minute. Heck yeah, CFM's Queen. Maybe you and I could get together and do a live stream together about it and talk about how disgusting it is. I'd enjoy it. You know what I mean? I think it'd be very educational. I swear like a trucker, but I'm angry about how they don't protect our children. Yeah, me too. And I don't care about the swearing. I really don't. I did at one point, but I decided, you know what? People get me who I am, and I'm not gonna mask any part of me for anybody, for any algorithm, for any reason. I'm just gonna be me. I'm gonna say how I want to say things. I want to speak how I want to speak. So Vic says, I believe part of the reason is that it's easier on people to think about language and therefore be offended by it than it is for people to really confront child abuse. That could very well possibly be. That's that could very well possibly be. In order to be offended by it, people would have to put some really heartfelt thought behind it. Kind of like I do, right? Crazy, Vic. You're so on point. I think people, Vic also says, I think people tend to not want to look at things that make them uncomfortable. Absolutely. And I just look at it from the light that, imagine how uncomfortable it is for each child, you know? It's got to be pretty uncomfortable. I am sick of the sweep under the carpet mindset when it comes to sexual abuse victims. Me too, CFM's Queen. Me fucking too. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Why does a word light the internet on fire, but a child being harmed barely smolders? Let that one sink in for a second. Why does a word light the internet on fire, but a child being harmed barely smolders? You ever notice that? How somebody says something problematic and the whole digital village grabs torches, threads explode, comment sections become war zones, people write essays, they demand apologies, they demand consequences. But when a kid gets abused, we lower our voices. We say, that's terrible. And then we change the subject. Why is that? That is a sad reality. That is a sad reality. What's up, a right touch of fishing? How are you two today? I don't think people are aware how common child abuse is, but because it is, that's what makes people nonchalant. Yeah. There really is no wrong answer to these. So, um, let me drop this in here again. The truth is always uncomfortable, but we must not turn from it. Exactly. Exactly. A right touch of fishing. See it, that's queen. Let me drop the link again one more time. Let me drop this link again one more again. And I'll continue on my way. I think I'm gonna leave that one up there for a minute there, CFM's queen. The truth is always uncomfortable, but we must not turn from it. Why do syllables get sirens, but stolen innocence gets silence? Why is that? Kind of crazy. And don't tell me it's because people care. If we cared proportionately, this country and others would look different. Our laws would look different. Our conversations at dinner tables would look different. The way we protect kids would look different. Instead, we argue about phrasing. We debate tone. We dissect tweets like they're sacred scripture. Meanwhile, there are kids right now dealing with trauma that will echo for decades. And that imbalance, that's what we're talking about today. Outrage is easy. Here's something uncomfortable. Outrage is easy. Outrage costs nothing. Gotta see that handsome face. All right, I got you, brother. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, let me welcome to the stage, to the panel, ATS. Well, the thing is, what's up, buddy?
What's going on?
Oh,
I
just
just
doing
wanted to come up and be support.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it. You know how hard these are for me to do, so I always appreciate somebody coming up here and sharing and taking part of that weight from me, It really makes it easier for me to do this kind of stuff. So, all right. Well, send our love to Mick as well, man. Send our love to Mick as well. We all love that guy. Indeed. All right. We can be outraged from our couch. You can be outraged in pajamas. You can be outraged while eating cereal. It doesn't demand sacrifice. It doesn't demand that you disrupt your life. It demands reaction, not responsibility. Type, go ahead.
I wasn't saying anything.
Okay, my bad. Maybe it was the voices in my head. Oh, are we doing that? Are we doing that on your channel today, bro? Or what?
No, we're doing it Friday.
Friday? Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yours is Friday.
All right. Sounds good. Sounds good. Typing is easier than protecting. That's the fact. Sharing a hot take is easier than having a hard conversation with your own family. Calling someone out is easier than calling the police when something feels wrong. And we've built an entire culture around performative outrage. It feels productive. It feels righteous. It feels like movement. But protecting children, that requires vigilance. That requires awareness. That requires admitting that sometimes danger doesn't look like a villain in a movie. Sometimes it looks normal. Sometimes it looks respected. And that makes people uncomfortable. So instead of confronting that discomfort, we redirect. We fight about words. Now let's go a little bit deeper. Why does language trigger us faster than abuse? Because language is abstract. Abuse is visceral. Language is an argument. Abuse is a reality. It's that simple. When you argue about language, you get to stay in your head. When you stay intellectual, when you get to stay intellectual, you get to debate definitions. When you confront child abuse, you have to face something darker. You have to admit that evil can sit at a dinner table. You have to admit that predators don't always look like monsters. You have to admit that maybe, just maybe, someone you trust could be capable of doing this kind of harm. And the brain hates that. The brain protects you from things that threaten your sense of safety. So what does it do? It deflects. It says, let's argue about something else. Let's fight about tone. Let's fight about wording. Let's fight about phrasing. Because if we fight about that, we don't have to look at the abyss of abuse. And that abyss of abuse is deep. But survivors live in that abuse, not metaphorically, literally. You don't get to debate your way out of trauma because we don't. You don't get to log off for memories. They stay forever. Let that sit in. Let that sink in. Think about that for a minute. Love you guys too, Mick and Nick. Just know that. Every person that has had sex crimes committed on them unalives inside somewhere. Why are the crimes and criminals not being brought to justice with the same penalties that they served to the victims? That's a damn good question, CFM's Queen. That's a damn good question. One that I've been asking for a long time. And
Same here.
you know the crazy thing about it though, ATS, we'll never get an answer.
Nope.
All we can do is keep our combat boots on and keep pushing forward. Those acts against the victims stole life from them. Every single day it does. Every single day it does, CFM's Queen. CFM's Queen says,
And
hi,
it
Eddie.
doesn't even matter, to be honest. It doesn't
Yeah.
even matter if it's a child or a teenager or an adult.
No.
Because when it happens to you as an adult, it's even worse in some cases.
Yeah, I can see that.
Because now you're you're more looking for um locking all the windows, making sure that all the windows are locked, double locking you, making sure the doors are locked, triple locking you. You know, you're more afraid to even go outside when something like that happens to you. You know,
Yeah.
you shut yourself off to the world. You know,
Yeah.
because you
That's
think,
that stigma that's attached to it. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
you don't want to be an adult and have that crime committed against you because you're an adult. You know what I mean? So, I mean, I can get it, but I put all sex abuse on one level. You know, it's horrible.
it is. You know, and
Yeah.
when it the sad thing is when it happens to a child, we don't know what we can turn to. We don't know who we
Yeah.
can trust. We don't know who to reach out to because it usually happens from a neighbor, a family friend, or even a family member. And very few is a stranger. Very few.
Yeah. Less than 14% are strangers. Why? Usually because we don't go around strangers. We don't let our kids hang around with strangers. Is why we let our kids hang around people we trust. We let in our families. We let in our homes. That's why that percentage is so high. CFM's Queen says, yes, it does. I'm still living it every day. Me too. Me too. And unaliving inside is at the same time while trying to live. Survivor mode is not living.
Nope.
That's right. That is right, CFM's Queen. And I got that topic coming up in the next few days. I got that topic coming up in the next few days, as a matter of fact. What's up, Ottawa? What's up, Charbatty? Glad to see all you guys pouring in here. I appreciate it. So, for those that are just coming in, let me tell you what's going on here. Over the course of the next 10 days, I'm going to be doing a pop up live stream just like this on awareness. And each day we're going to cover a new topic. I'll repeat them at the end of this again. I hope you all stick around, share this out, hit the like button, leave a comment, but most importantly, listen, learn, and together let's stop abuse from happening. Right? Right. Glad to see you all here. I'm going to continue rolling in a second. Let me get this chat caught up here real quick.
It's good seeing you, Charbatty. You know, I want to say this to CMF Rocks Queen. We're here for you.
Oh, yeah. Kentucky Leah, thank you very much for being here. She says, just popping in on for support on behalf of Eddie. Well, thank you very much, Eddie, for sharing this out again, my friend. I appreciate it.
Good seeing you, Kentucky Lee.
CFM's Queen says, I'm sorry I'm so harsh on here. I'm literally crying. Every tear I shed is not enough for the suffering of a child around the world that is affected by this. Exactly, CFM's Queen. Bugging exactly. We got to do something, ladies and gentlemen. We got to, man. We really got to we got to put our heads together and just fucking nail this shit down, man. We got to get going on it, man. We got to do something.
Imagine if every other state in the United States jumped on the bandwagon and passed the same laws that they just passed here in Florida.
Yeah. Yeah. It'd be crazy, wouldn't it? It makes
Yep.
such a difference, and I don't think it'll ever happen. But we're gonna keep fighting for what we stand for over here. And what do we stand for? Standing tough on pedophilia. That's what STOP is.
Yep.
The numbers versus the noise. Let's talk scale. 1 in 4 girls, 1 in 6 boys before adulthood. That's not a figure issue. That's not a fringe issue. That's not rare. That's not isolated. That's epidemic. Now compare that to how much oxygen we give to controversial comments online. Which one trends longer? Which one dominates headlines? Which one sparks protests? Why does a comedian's bad joke travel faster than a child's exploitation case? Why does a misused word get more engagement than a missing child? I got the answer. It's because we've trained ourselves to react to noise instead of harm. Noise is louder, harm is quieter. Harm hides, and predators depend on that silence. I cannot stress that enough. Silence is detrimental to victims, and it's only protecting predators. I'm right there with you on that, CFM's Queen. I will fight to the end for them all. Me too. Charbaddy says, survivors continue to live the best they can. Sometimes it's a daily challenge. It never goes away and doesn't lessen when someone serves time in jail. Exactly. Exactly. But then serving time in jail means that that's one more person not able to get to a child. No one should suffer in silence. Silence is the problem. Exactly. Exactly, CFM's Queen. Exactly. And predators depend on that silence. They depend on distraction. They depend on the fact that society would rather argue than investigate. Crazy, huh? Now I want to slow this down a little bit because this isn't theoretical to me. For survivors, this imbalance isn't philosophical, it's personal. When you've lived through abuse and you watch the world detonate over language, well, it makes you feel invisible. When someone's words can have more impact on people's lives than a child coming forth with their story about abuse, well, that says to me that's a big fucking problem in this world. A big fucking problem. Let me say that last little phrase again. When you've lived through abuse and you watch the world detonate over language, you feel invisible. You feel like your pain ranked lower than a typo. That's horrible. You feel like the culture is screaming about paper cuts while you're bleeding internally. And that does something to a person. It changes them forever. It really does.
And it's not a positive change.
It's not either. No one should suffer in silence. Silence is the problem. Exactly, Char, honey. And biggest hugs. I never had any justice for any of my wrongs set against me. There is no justice for victims, unfortunately. And that's what we're set to change. That's what we're out here to change. The person who victimized me, I never got justice for it either.
And the person
I
who
had a,
victimized me never got justice for it either. So,
yep. Charbaddy says, I've had family members want me to stay quiet. I've been told I need to stay quiet. I don't anymore. Well, that's good on you, Charbaddy. That's good on you. As a victim, I was treated like the criminal, and that's what's wrong with this world. Exactly. 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 Same Char, and that is awful. Secrets harm. They do. They really do. Never stay quiet, Char. Never stay quiet.
nope.
I agree. Okay. Um, you feel like the culture is screaming about paper cuts while you're bleeding internally. And that does something to a person. It makes you question your value. It makes you question whether what happened to you even matters. Because if it mattered, wouldn't people fight harder? Wouldn't people talk louder? Wouldn't we be more outraged about the right things? And that's why this topic matters. Not because words don't matter, because they do. But priorities matter more. The hard questions. The hard questions. So here's the question I want you to wrestle with. If your outrage doesn't translate into protection, what is it worth? If your outrage doesn't translate into protection, what is it worth? Because my family didn't support me, the rapist, so-called friend of the family, raped at least 2 more young girls. Yeah, that's horrible. It's horrible that shit happens. It's horrible. If you can spend hours arguing online, but 0 minutes learning the signs of grooming, what does that say about you? Hmm. That one hits kind of hard. Let me repeat that one more again. If you can spend hours arguing online, but 0 minutes learning the signs of grooming, what does that say? What does that say? If you can memorize offensive phrases, but not the statistics of abuse, what does that say? If you memorize offensive phrases, but not the statistics of abuse, what does that say? I'm not attacking you. I'm challenging you because I had to challenge myself. Why? Well, awareness is uncomfortable. It asks more of you than anger does. Anger is loud. Awareness is steady. And steady saves lives. 1 second, ladies and gentlemen.
It does. It does save lives. I just wish that like he's saying, like the articles we're talking about, with the subject we're talking about, if more people, instead of being on social media complaining about a celebrity or a song or a clothing brand, and they spent more time giving a voice to these victims and destroying the perpetrators' credibility and just everything. I think things would change. More people coming together. That's my opinion.
Sorry, Eddie, what was that? I had to turn it down for a second.
I
I
was
got the
saying
very
that if
tail end of what
we,
you said.
I was saying, I was piggybacking off what you were saying about how these people would be on social media and they would complain about a celebrity or a song or an outfit or something stupid, and instead of standing up for these victims of child abuse and destroying the perpetrators, you know, a lot more things will change.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. For sure. All right. I'm going to wrap this up here, but I'm going to leave you guys with this. Before you log off, before you scroll, before you go back to whatever was waiting for you today, I need you to sit still for 1 second. Don't comment yet. Don't argue yet. Don't defend yourself yet. Just sit with this. If we can't mobilize millions of people over a world, but we can mobilize the same energy over a child being harmed, something is broken. Hang on. If we can mobilize millions of people over the world, but we can't mobilize the same energy over a child being harmed, something is broken. And broken priorities don't fix themselves. They calcify. They become culture. And culture becomes normal. And when something this horrific becomes normal, that's when predators thrive.
Yep.
They thrive in distraction. They thrive in politeness. They thrive in comfort. But biggest of all, they thrive when society is arguing about vocabulary instead of vigilance. And I'm not saying language doesn't matter. I'm saying proportion matters more. If your outrage burns hotter over syllables than it does over suffering, ask yourself why. If you spent more time correcting strangers online than learning the signs of grooming, ask yourself why. If this conversation made you uncomfortable today, good. Discomfort is a signal. It means something is rubbing against the truth. Growth doesn't happen in comfort. Growth doesn't happen in comfort. Protection doesn't happen in comfort. Accountability doesn't happen in comfort. It happens when people decide, I can't ignore this anymore. And here's the thing. You don't get to unhear this now. So make sure you want to hear what I'm about to say. Because you don't get to go back to not knowing, because now you do know. You don't get to pretend you didn't hear that millions of children have been hurt, are being hurt, and will be hurt, while society debates semantics. Once you see that the imbalance, you carry it. And I hope it weighs on you. Not to crush you, but to wake you up. Because awareness is fucking heavy. But silence is deadly. And tomorrow, we're going deeper. This morning, we talked about the imbalance. Tomorrow, we're ripping open the layer underneath it. Tomorrow's live stream is this: the real reason people don't want to talk about abuse. Not the surface excuses. Not it's uncomfortable. Not it's dark. And not it's political. The real reason. The psychological reason. The social reason. The reason that makes people look away. The reason that makes families stay quiet. The reason that keeps systems protected. The reason predators depend on it. We're going to expose that. We're going to talk about denial. We're going to talk about fear. We're going to talk about complicity. We're going to talk about what people lose if they admit the truth. And I promise you, tomorrow's conversation is going to hit harder than this one. Every conversation the next day is going to hit harder than this day's conversation. Because once you understand why people avoid this topic, you start seeing it everywhere. And that's not a joke. That's reality. I'm going to repeat that. Once you understand why people avoid this topic, you start seeing it every fucking where. So don't schedule it in your calendar. Don't expect a neat notification. Just be ready. Because sometime tomorrow I'm going live and we're not slowing down. We're not softening it. We're not cleaning it up to make it easier to digest. Go ahead. You're good, man. We're not cleaning it up to make it easier to digest. We're telling the fucking truth. The cold, hard truth. And if you care about kids, if you care about survivors, if you care about preventing the next story from happening, well, then you'll show up. Carry this question with you today. Why are we more offended by language than by child abuse? Let that sit in your chest. Let it challenge you. And when we come back tomorrow, we're going to find out why so many people would rather argue about words than comfort what's really happening. We're still on the freeway, ladies and gentlemen. We just got off the exit. And we're not taking any exits anytime soon. This is Get to Know Stop, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate you all being here. I really do. ATS, as always, thank you for joining me up on panel.
Thank you for having
I'll
me
give
up
it-
on panel.
Absolutely, absolutely. It makes my task a lot easier. As I've said over here many and many a times, this is not ever easy for me to do, but it's got to be done. So let me catch up the chat. Yes, I read that one. Charbaddy says CFM's queen. I'm sorry. Thank you, Char. Hi, old lady. Oh, it's disgusting and disappointing. It really is, Charbaddy. It really fucking is. It really is. Or use social media for more positive reasons like today's discussion. Exactly, Charbaddy. When people come on here and they say this is the internet, no, 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 no. That doesn't work for me. Okay. That is such a cop out line. That's just a way for ignorance and arrogance to fucking infect us all. And I'm not about that shit. Just because some people want to use the internet as a tool to harm people, as a joke, as a way to be an asshole. Well, I don't use it for that. For me, the internet's real life. Because there's a lot of life that gets destroyed on the internet. Child grooming. Up 36 million cases reported to the NCMEC last year alone on grooming over the internet, ladies and gentlemen.
Yep.
Does that sound, oh, it's just the internet? No, motherfuckers, it's not just the internet. This is real life shit. Real people are getting hurt every day by the internet. And I'm not keeping my mouth shut about this shit anymore. I'm not. I'm not going to do it. I'm just saying. The distractions are there for avoiding the real issues that need our attention. Don't be distracted, my friends, and hold the true course. Exactly, CFM screen. Exactly. Don't get conned by the shell game. The hand is not quicker than the eye. Ooh, I like that there. I like that there, CFM's queen. I really do. A rose that blooms in adversity is the rarest, most beautiful rose of them all. A rose grown from concrete is still a rose, is it not? It is. Thank you. Have a good day, Charbaddy says. God bless everyone. Praying I catch D2K's live tomorrow. Well, we'll see. If not, I'm sure you'll catch the replay, Mom. I really appreciate it. Amen, Char and D2K, brother. Thank you very much. Marissa, what's up, Marissa? Coming in like a villain. So, Marissa, I just did this live stream. I'm getting ready to stop on this one right now. The internet was not made for destruction and harm. You're fucking so right, Charbaddy. You're so right. And those people that are in that mindset, they can just go fuck themselves. For real. I mean that shit. Like this plate, like Just you don't get to come on the internet and do hurtful shit to people and get away with it forever. You're not. It's not going to happen. Not going to happen. And use the excuse, oh, this is the internet. This isn't real life. No, motherfuckers, it is real life.
Yeah, it is. The internet is real life, and people don't understand it.
Don't let your feelings get involved.
Yeah, don't let your feelings. How can you not let your feelings get involved when you have somebody calling you a pedophile and shit? Like, how can you not let your feelings get involved?
Especially when you're here for that research.
Yeah, especially when you're here for fighting against that kind of shit. You know what I mean? Marissa, this was a very fucking informative and educational live stream. You should go back and watch it. And then let me run over the topics I'm going to be doing. This is the first day of 10 pop-up live streams I'm going to be doing at random times every single day. There's not going to be a specific time. I'm not going to send out notifications. I'm just going to run with it and get it running and get it going, and 10 days of this stuff, and then we'll move on to the next segment. That's what we're going to do. I'd love to see all you here, but I understand not everybody can make it to all these things, all of these, and that's okay. And that's okay. Fact, Shar, and people doing that are not cool. I still pray for them because I don't know what they what pray for them because I don't know what they've been through. But they need to stop, and it needs to stop. Yep, we're right, CFM Queen. You're right. Charbetty says, I hate their BS excuses for harm. There are people who are homebound, and these weirdos have ruined a good thing. Yep, they have. They have. I'd appreciate it, Marissa. I'd appreciate it, Marissa. Upcoming daily topics are going to be as follows. Yeah, and being drunk is not an excuse to treat peeps badly. You're so right. You're so fucking right, CFM's Queen. So right. Tomorrow is the real reason people don't want to talk about child abuse. Day 3, I will cover the comfort of ignorance. Day 4, I'll cover abuse doesn't end at 18. Day 5 is if silence had a body count. Day 6, stop calling survivors strong. Ooh, damn. 7, predators count on your politeness. 8, this isn't political, it's about kids. 9, why survivors get asked the wrong questions. And 10, to wrap it all up, you don't get to be neutral. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, this is Get to Know Stop. Here we are standing tough on pedophilia. That is what STOP stands for. And with that being said, Eddie, again, thank you for being up here and participating with me and help keeping me comfortable. I will see all of you hopefully tomorrow at some random time on this channel. And with that being said, take care of one another because nobody else will. Have a good one, ladies and gentlemen. Want to say bye, Eddie?
Have a good one. See you guys at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And yes, I'll be here tomorrow for your next pop-up.
Great. Thank you so much. I appreciate it, man. CFM says, thank you so much for all you do, G2K. We salute you. Thank you very much. And you just almost made me cry right there. So I'm going to leave you with that one. So there you go. Eddie, you want to stick
We all
around
love
for
you,
1 minute?
bro.
I appreciate
Yeah, I
it,
will.
man. I really do. I really do. I appreciate all you guys. I can't stress it enough. Just the fact that you guys give me your time, just the fact that you guys give me your time, something that is so valuable and we can never get back, means the world to me, and I can never repay you or show you how much I appreciate that. So this is Get to Know Stop. I'm out of here, and watch out, motherfucking predators, because we're coming. Have the day you deserve to have, ladies and gentlemen.